Hello, I'm Wayne Mitchell from Empower Business Solutions, and I'm the Director of Corporate and Strategic Clients. I'd like to give you a quick update on the budget as we saw it, and in particular the measures that we saw announced for energy. Of course, Rishi Sunak announced a huge range of measures for businesses to bring them out of the COVID world and difficulties that we're now operating under. But I'll focus in particularly on energy rather than those wider measures. So the first thing we noted was the new super deduction allowance, which is a tax incentive for businesses for any investments that they make in plant and machinery. So that feels to us like an ideal opportunity to invest in on-site generation, renewable energy, energy efficiency. So that incentive should help reduce the impact of capital expenditure, it will help cut energy costs, and it will help advance businesses and organisations' journeys to net zero. Second thing we noted was the investment in advancing green technologies. So there are four things that were present in the budget. A new UK infrastructure bank, which will be located in Leeds, and that will prioritise investments for projects that tackle climate change. There's a £4.8 million investment announced for a hydrogen hub in Holyhead, which will pilot the creation of hydrogen using renewable energy. There'll be investment for offshore wind and biomass feedstocks, and there'll also be a new £15 billion bond, green bond, to raise funds to further finance government green-related spending. So on those points in particular, many of the businesses that we work with tell us that some of the technologies that will help them advance them towards their net zero goals are kind of just out of reach. They're not commercially viable at the moment. So any investment that helps advance those technologies will be most welcome, I'm sure. The third thing we noted was a freeze on carbon price support. So that will remain at £18 per tonne for 22 to 23. And there will also be more detail announced at a later date on expanding the UK emissions trading scheme. That will be later in the year. There'll be a continued freeze on fuel duty for 21-22, but the budget detail notes that future fuel duty rates will be considered in the context of the UK's commitment to reaching net zero emissions by 2050. So our expectation is that fuel duty will go up after 2022. The final thing we noted was that carbon offsetting is on the agenda. So the ex-London Stock Exchange boss Clara Furse is going to establish a new working group to position the UK as a leading global market for high-quality voluntary carbon offsets. And that confirms for us that the government views offsetting as a key element in meeting net zero targets. So, a few things that we just wanted to run through just to give you a sense of what we saw in the budget. Of course, if you'd like to understand any of that in more detail and you'd like to get in touch, please do. We are really open and willing to help. I hope that's been helpful and gives you just a bit of a steer on some of the points that were in the budget. But do get in touch. Hope it's been helpful. Thanks.